Can we not talk about that right now?
Companionship? No. But that's why we're talking about it, because companionship, everyone's, you mean
I have one...
dicks and pussies? No.
No.
There's relationships.
God.
There's friendships.
Gross, dude.
This
is a PG podcast.
There's family relationships.
No, this podcast is R for renegade.
Work relationships.
Yeah.
Companionship is huge.
Yep.
The reason I thought about companionship was, if you take, they have all over social media, streaming videos, documentaries, people that go out and live by themselves. And that's a really cool thing, but the majority of what I have seen is, at a point, they have to come back to society, or at least need to be interacting with something.
Right.
That's why they'll be best friends with the bears. Yeah, they'll be best friends with the bears, and a fucking bear eats the fuck out of them. You know what I mean? Like, or like somebody lives with the monkeys. It was like, oh yeah, they're my best friends. And one dude
I think that's just Detroit. Usually.
It's like a dolphin. If a dolphin's like by itself, a shark's gonna come in and snatch that.
But yeah.
I have one statement to say that really will put an end to this entire conversation. I apologize, but get a dog. Get a dog.
Get a dog.
Get a dog.
Give you unlimited love and affection.
Yeah.
And companionship.
Okay.
And
so there you go, viewers. For everyone asking questions about companionship, that's wondering, like, how do you feel like you have a companion in life? You just have to get a dog.
Get a pooch.
And if you're horny and you need that companionship, get a jar of peanut butter.
Peanut butter.
You already have the dog. Mm-hmm. That's all you need.
Is that what it sounds like?
Yeah. If you've never put peanut butter on your wiener and let an old pooch
get
the sandpaper licking,
I never done that.
Then you haven't lived.
No, I've lived. No, I've lived.
I'm gonna disagree.
There's many black holes I don't go down. I don't jump in the volcanoes.
So you only like blonde girls, or you said there's not many black holes that I won't go down, or there's a lot of black holes I won't go down. So only white women then?
Say that?
Yeah.
What did I say, son? I would never say that. I'm just a sweet Georgia peach. And I would never do nothing like that.
Gosh, you sound like I'm trying to molest you. Calm down.
We don't advocate molesting on this podcast. Companionship, you said get a dog. Can I have rebuttal?
Rebuttal.
Yeah, cross-reference.
Rebuttal.
Your Honor.
Is that the dog's name?
I'm saying that from having never purchased a dog in my adult life.
So you don't even fucking know. You don't even have one.
Well, but I've lived.
He's just going back to the past where he's like, Mom, Dad, can I please get a dog? And they're like, no. And then, so he's trying to...
But that's what it was like. They were like, no. And then my mom came home with a dog.
So you had a dog?
I did, yeah.
But you've never gotten one your own.
I never, not as an adult. I've never purchased a dog. Had to pay for the expenses of a dog.
You know, during Christmas, the Humane Society gives them away for free.
I would probably rescue a dog.
I would be so down to do that.
Rescue dogs are always way smarter than incest-bred golden retrievers.
Yep.
I mean,
and it's true.
It's just science.
It's street smarts over regular smarts.
I don't think you guys...
So, Tim, what is your rebuttal?
My rebuttal, Your Honor, Your Highness, Your Majesty, is this. A dog is a great idea for companionship. And animals can be very therapeutic, can be healing. We have service animals. They're such a huge help and an impact in people's lives. However, that companionship has like a glass ceiling. Like it's only going to go so far.
You can't fuck your dog.
I wasn't.
That's what you're saying.
Well, I mean, technically.
So don't just assume it's all about fucking when it comes to me.
Well, you just want that close relationship where you're the closest you can physically be with another human.
Here's the thing. You can't have sex with your animal. You can't have... No.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Animals can only do so much. Animals can get your attention. You will interact. You will communicate with them. That you've heard of... I've read books. I was reading a lot of books about kind of not eating meat. And it got into a lot of animal kind of lovers and this kind of vegan life. And it was interesting. A lady that raised chickens said, like, she raised chickens and one chicken one day came up from out in the pasture. Just And she was like, what the fuck is going on? And she followed the chicken back. All the other chickens are now following her. And there was like a cow or a fucking goat that was hurt. The chicken brought her. Like, animals can do so much, but there is this certain intellectual thing. Like, you're not gonna, unless we get a fucking cock up here just cock-a-doodle-doo, you know, and he's on the podcast. I don't think we can podcast with, you know. I think there's this intellectual ceiling, and that connection that you can
for sure
get with people, I think is a part of the companionship that you don't get from pooches and cocks.
I agree with you. And I was joking when I said all you need is a dog, because I don't even have a dog. So, but I mean, it's like, I think dogs do uplift humanity more than we give them credit for, you know? Like when someone invented the fucking bicycle wheel, did he have a dog? And did the dog make him happy every day? Who knows? You know, maybe it was a crucial part of society developing. But
I think back then you didn't need companionship that much because women actually listened. So you automatically had a wife.
There goes our entire female viewership.
And
Nixon,
you know,
and
Aisha. Aisha mainly, but anyway.
all of
Think about it. But then again, I feel like even back then, all jokes aside, I feel like the chivalry was in a way where now we're looking for companionship based off of certain values and certain things that were never even part of the conversation back then. Back then it was so much simpler times. There, you know, they weren't so full of themselves. That, you know, we didn't have these narcissistic people. Me and you had this conversation earlier, like on Tinder, right? You go to swipe, and then there's the ratio of men liking women's posts is so high compared to women liking men's posts. So you develop this culture of, you know, this female is now thinking she's better than everyone else. You know what I mean? And the same could be said for males too. I just think that we're in a different day and age now where the main qualities that used to happen all the time are not even, there's barely a scent of it now. Like chivalry, like nobody opens doors for anybody anymore. Yeah. You know what I mean? Nobody knows about the walking on the sidewalk rule where the man is on the left. Outside. Yeah, walks on the outside. Nobody knows about that. Do you know about that?
I open doors and I just do that. Like that's just like you just
that's common sense,
no one taught
right?
me. I mean, I guess I grew up. So it's like you should open doors for people. That's the best thing to do.
But like I'm just saying, like people my age, there's no respect. Nobody knows that walking on the outside rule. You know, there's
and back when you and I used to live in the 1940s, dude, shit was different.
It was you know, the Great Depression was really awesome. Women were working back then
when everyone was just killing each other.
You know,
John Dillinger, I can't,
dude. Fucking,
like the gangs in New York.
Al Capone, dude. Fucking just put them on an island.
You know,
Alcatraz.
That's all I'm saying. And you have this culture where they're looking for a different type of connection. They're looking for that physical connection because it sparks something, and then the feelings will come after I bang this guy on the first night.
I don't know, dude. I think it's the same. I think it's the same old. It's just different ways.
Really?
There's nothing new under the sun kind of deal.
No, I don't. I think it's just love. People just want to connect. People want companions. What you were saying, all these things, like that's just it. Like people want friendships. They want companionships. They want male and female. They want connections. They want to develop. They want to try new things. They want to work with people to solve problems and engage. And we're social creatures. Like we're like dolphins. You know, we want to banter off of each other and have all these things. That's just ingrained in humans. That's just in our genetics, right? In their DNA.
So I can get on board with that.
I heard a theory about that.
Go.
You ready?
Yes.
Tracing it back to Adam and Eve.
Hypothesis.
The reason why we're so... Hypothesis. All right. Something I learned. Jesus Christ. Gosh, just pick on me because I'm a minority, huh?
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph Stalin. Get to the point.
Aren't I the minority on Maui because the population...
Not right now. There's so many white people now.
Right.
Shit.
I'm getting pushed out of my land once again. I hope you know.
Sorry, dude.
No, I'm just joking.
I'm leaving. Fuck.
Bye, Sean.
Dude, you're sacrificing your life. Dude, did you just do that?
You just hailed Hitler.
Superman.
What the heck? That was a Hail Hitler, man. Your hand was flat.
Well, what's the Superman then?
Dude, you got to do the Crumb Disciple.
Is it?
The Crumb Heil.
Dude, that's the half heart, dude.
No, dude.
That's a Crip sign, dude.
heart.
That's the
dude.
Crumb Heil.
That's a Crip sign.
No, dude.
Crumb Heil. The Crumb Disciple speaks.
You better watch out. There's a sleeper agent 2 doors over.
Fuck
The
that
German
dude.
sleeper agent.
I don't
Anyway.
think I think he's just an angry man. He probably was French, anyways.
So,
Theory. Yeah,
name's
No, go ahead.
His name's Kareem. No, I'm just kidding.
His name is Kareem. Move next door.
dude, you know Kareem on his so we have a friend named Kareem. He's French, and he was
Side
trying
quest.
to renew.
He's not my
He was
friend.
trying to renew his
He's my friend.
visa to stay in Maui longer, but he couldn't, so he had to leave. And as soon as he landed outside of the U.S., he got the email that for his visa answer. As soon as he landed
Was it a
outside,
yes?
he's like, I'm not even gonna check because
He
he has to
still
go
hasn't
back through the
checked?
whole process again to once because he passed country lines already.
Oh, and so to leave again.
No, to come back again, he has to redo that whole visa
So
process.
even if it's a yes,
yeah, even if it's a
matter.
yes, it
Just hop
doesn't
on
matter.
a plane and-
Yeah,
So
yeah.
wait, why did he leave then? He was just like
His
tired
visa
of
was going to
waiting?
expire, so it
When
would have
was it
been
gonna
illegal for
expire?
him to stay.
Well, when was it expiring?
Like this week.
and I guess he hadn't heard back, and so
Yeah, so they weren't giving him an answer.
Damn, dude, he could have just stayed.
I know. That's what he was like so mad, but he was I mean, hope he had a safe trip.
French are just mad in general.
So, your story, you were saying.
Yeah, back to the
theory.
It's how women. People are attracted to each other. It's because when God created Adam and Eve, you had Adam who was made from the dust, but then you had Eve who was made from Adam. It was a rib taken from Adam. They walked with God and they were like God. Adam was made in God's image, and then, sorry, that's my phone.
Okay.
And then Eve was made based off of what Adam had.
I'm just gonna go throw your phone in the toilet.
So, you could just unplug it and I don't know, bring it over here. Thanks, man. So whenever you have this human connection, you have a man and a woman. They come together and they bond in that type of way. They're actually becoming closer to God because it's in their original state. It's in the original state, the combined, complete state.
The original taint.
Dude.
Yeah.
The original state.
Yeah.
No. Yes, the original taint.
The original taint.
Oh, the 1, 2, 3. Remember the 1, 2, 3? We talked about.
We're hacking the system. The Martians are like this. It's like
3. 1 and 2 is 3.
You're like the 1, 2, 3. The 1, 2, 3.
The fucking it's the
Tell him.
so. Dude, I don't even know where to begin. You were the one that told me about this.
So the idea of 1, 2, 3 is that when one whole person and another whole person come together, 1 and 1 become 2. When they come together and unite, and they're actually whole people and such, and it's a healthy relationship and whatever, they be fucking. Because they're two people coming together, there automatically is created this third perspective, which is their child. But then the 3 becomes 1 again. And that's just
restarts.
Eternal pattern of...
I was just talking to you about numbers, remember the other night, Tim?
Yeah. Dude, numbers? Jesus.
No, so get this.
Fucking? Dude, we got it all on this podcast. Renegade Supreme.
Yeah.
On Renegade... Wait, you already...
And then Tim's like, all right,
tuned in.
check out my MySpace, guys. Am I, what's your book? Was it Booklet or?
Substack.
Yeah, Subset.
Dude, I used to have
Bookdumb.
So-
Dumbbooks.com.
The reason I heard this
This is a really cool.
this theology thing from one of my guys. I'm in a sports brand that's based out of a ministry, and there's this pro skater in our sports brand. He's also a preacher, and he was telling me his thoughts on numbers and the creation and God, and he said that numbers are so big in the spiritual realm because if you were to take any type of scripture, right, and translate it from a language, say to Aramaic, then you change it to Latin, and then you translate all the way down, you're going to lose so many things in translation. You're going to lose so many things in the process of all of that. But what can't be lost in translation is numbers. That's why numbers are such a big thing in the spiritual aspect of things, and they represent something. You have 666 representing man, right? Then you have each day. The seventh day was a number that represents completion in God, because he completed and rested, right? So then you even look at it in the human, like if you look at the human body, you could count down. So like 1 brain, then you have 2 eyes, 3 senses on your face, and then you keep working down, all the way down. You get all the way down to your nuts. That's number 9, because it looks like
because you get 9 balls.
Because you have...
Right? That's normal, right?
Yeah, 9 balls. No, but like if you look at it, if you take a number 9 and you kind of... It looks like the penis and the balls. And you keep going. And so that's really like... Looking at that aspect, like, I was like, what the heck? That's a cool theory.
Dude, this sounds like some hanky-panky woo-woo bullshit to me.
Hanky-panky.
And I'm not picking on you because you're the minority. I'm picking on the white half of you.
Oh, well that's...
The white half of me isn't even complete half.
The white quarter of you.
Yeah, I know.
No, I agree that there's, like, math and everything.
Well, we've spoken about that before.
Yeah.
But oddly enough, with the 1, the 2, the 3, which got my juices flowing, when we mentioned the 1, 2, 3 again, and with numbers, it's important to me to understand that when in companionship, like the connection, of course, is big, and that's what you were talking about. The 1, right? And so the connect, healthy relationship. Like, we're just gonna assume like, oh, that's good. Yeah, I love that. That was. But
well, I didn't love it.
You didn't.
There would have been a better, like if it was a girl, but yeah, it was all good.
But the connection. So when I think about companionship, since I'm a social person, what people I believe should realize is companionship is not a singular kind of thing. It's not, oh, this is my marriage or my significant other. This is my family, and here in fuck yeah, right? In Hawaii, dude, you did. In Hawaii, they have Hanai. And like Hanai is fucking, it's like serious. It's like, that's my brother, that's my sister, like that's. So I have a good friend that I came up in the world with, and I remember one day we were talking, and he was on a job far away from his wife, and he was like, man, I met this girl, and they didn't fuck or anything. He's true to his wife, but it was interesting. He said, man, this connection I have, it was just insane. And he was like, I just really appreciated that connection, and he wanted to see where that would go. Of course, if he's a dog like me, he's just thinking about, you know what I mean? He's thinking about getting wild. But he was, I feel like that's kind of a guy thing, but he really was like, dude, I think there's something positive you can get from this, and it can really help progress you in your life. But those connections, people, they isolate themselves from other connections and think it's all singular. And
we are in an ecosystem. And that's the thing. You were talking to me the other day. You're like, I think this whole introverted thing is kind of like a product of the modern world, where like there's just this idea of separation that doesn't really exist. And like this, like we're all existing in this ecosystem, which is a myriad of various different types of relationships. That's what an ecosystem is. So like you have your relationship with your lover, you have your relationship with your friends, your relationship with your animals, your relationship with nature, relationship with the soil, just like the trees have a relationship with the mycelium, the roots, and the squirrels, and all this kind of stuff. You're saying that this just it's almost like you can't even draw a line. That we're so interconnected that we are the tree.
Yeah, dude. Fuck yeah, we're the trees.
We are the tree. Or like we are the other people. Like when you see someone, like that's just you reflected out. That's just like your reflection to teach you something. We are all made of the same stuff and connected in that way. But that's so interesting. Yeah, I was like, dude, we're an ecosystem.
Yeah.
Relationships are within a larger relational ecosystem.
I feel like you've talked about that, like the ecosystem idea before. I know you have.
Well, we have.
But,
I don't know if it was me, but
it really hit me, like when you're talking about it, just talking about like a regular human everyday lives. It's like we forget we are in an ecosystem,
right?
And let's take out the actual plants and the animals. We're living in a social ecosystem,
fabricated.
Well.
It exists within our minds,
and that's important
within the construct of humanity. Yeah.
So you talk about reflection.
We were national, like the countries, the societies, the ecosystem. That's all an ecosystem.
You talked about. I was on the phone with you before we got here, and you were saying like about victims and how it's like it's what they kind of bring towards them, like this idea of reflecting.
Right.
So in companionship and in relationships, in these connections, if you're on that slippery slope, you know what I mean, smoking on that dope, you know what I mean? If you're in a bad way, the connections, you will still make connections. You're not ousted or excommunicated from the social system, maybe the proper or popular, but you're going to garner connections, and those can be very disruptive and unhealthy for your life. And then you see how it can blend over into other people, your family's life. If you ever had, I mean, because my uncle, I love my uncle, dude. Sahastra. He's fucking Murph. He's got tall as fuck, dark as fuck. He's got this really deep voice. Wears gold rings and fucking dresses.
What's his name?
Sahastra.
Sahastra.
Yeah. Indian as it gets.
And he's jacked?
Dude, everyone always gets jokes about my titties and my shoulders. That's where we get it from, dude. Not my dad. He's white.
Sahastra. Dude, you fucking, dude. How tall is he? Like 7'5"?
If you saw for Indian, he's probably 5'11". Okay, let's be real.
That's what I'm thinking, dude. This is hello.
Just a guy 2 inches taller than me, just... it's like he's the tallest man I've ever met.
He sounds
like the tallest guy in Tim's family ever.
He's the tallest guy I could ever imagine. He says, he sounds like Thor.
Yeah.
Why, hello, human. I come from above. Bathed in gold.
Oh yeah, dude, he looked. But the idea is, he was in and out of prison, and when we would try to help him, the idea was like if he wasn't trying to be rehabilitated or trying to have a better course for his life, my mother would just be like, we're gonna stay away. Like we've brought him in, we've shown him love, we've shown him aloha, we've brought him in, and he keeps choosing to go down a negative path. And she was like, I'm always there for you, brother. But the thing is, you are now influencing the rest of my family. And so a lot of people, if they have like an outlier cousin, brother, mom, or dad, like some people we know, they've got their other parent. And it's like, you go say hi to him, you see him, but you kind of separate yourself because those negative connections will kind of blend into your everyday life. And I mean, some of the questions I think that brings up is like, how much do how do you kind of deal with that connection? How do you...
I think we ought to be selfish enough to say, to say, I will not go and spend time with people that do not make me happy. That's it. Like if you don't feel good around someone, then then there's no...
I'll see you guys later.
There's no... Yeah, I just fucking do that. Why are we here?
That's what I was thinking.
Like I think you should give yourself permission to stop hanging around those people that don't make you feel good. Like be fucking selfish about that shit because be a renegade. It's not helping them. It's like you're on the playground and you're a kid and you're playing with some kids and they're just being assholes and they're kicking sand in your face. And then you go, well, I'm going to go over there. And you find a new group of friends to play with. It's like, but I think people don't.
And it never stops. You're always going to have to keep separating yourself.
Yeah.
Your whole life.
Maybe, but maybe not.
Oh, yeah. There's always going to be somebody.
Jacob, I do want to, it's interesting enough you saying that is, I mean, you have strong thoughts. I mean, we all do, but you have strong thoughts on the connections, especially with friends and in that kind of social environment. Oddly enough, born and raised Lahaina, dude, born and raised on an island, you feel like you can't get away from anything sometimes. Mm-hmm. And I also, it makes me wonder, because we talked about the other day about with the inequalities in life, in people's lives, and some of the discrimination and the atrocities that were perpetrated upon, like the native Hawaiians and the Polynesians and just the locals in general, right? That sometimes I felt like the people here felt like these are the only people, they felt like they were the only people in the world that bad shit's happened to, and it's worse to them, and no one else realizes what they, but it is an island, and there is something beautiful and magical about it here, but it definitely can give you a short-sighted point of view, because the things that are happening here are happening everywhere else. There's nothing new under the sun, as you were kind of saying. It's like, go, like, you know, whenever I hear, like, people talk about slavery, like, oh, man, us African and Americans, it's been, we were slaves. It's like, yeah, the Gentiles were slaves, and you know what I mean? Joseph and his people were, the Armenians, there's genocide. This stuff happens. Mm-hmm. And so when you say you have to keep doing it and keep getting away from it, maybe some of that has to do with this kind of beautiful place. Like, I imagine that could be hard.
Like a Hell's Paradise kind of thing?
Yeah, because, I mean, even if you go, we just found out the lady that we talked to at the mall, we went to this Hawaiian store. Yeah. That's your cousin.
Yeah.
Kind of.
That's my auntie. That's my relative. I didn't even know.
We didn't even know. And then I was like, oh, Kaika, right? We talked to this, her name was Raquel. I was like, Madero Society? He was like, oh, that's my auntie. He goes, yeah, the new store. And I was like, oh, fuck.
Which is nuts, because Kaika, you know Kaika from Kava Bar?
Yeah,
that's my cousin.
Yeah.
Damn.
The one that worked on the zipline. Isn't that wild?
We didn't even know that we were cousins. And then he was like, oh, yeah, my cousin. And I was like, that's my first cousin. He's like, that's my cousin. That's my second cousin. And I was like, we're cousins then. Like, yeah. Wow. But I think it's not necessarily the place, because you can always, like, the place, you know, if you're not meant to be there, you should leave. But a lot of the things and this is obviously, I have a very strong feeling in theory about this, because I've gone through it multiple times, over and over and over again. It's people.
It's people.
It is 100% people. Every single time, the issue is people. A lot of the times, and people, including myself, I'm part of the issue a lot of the times. But growing up, I got bullied by everybody because I was white. I was born and raised here. Bullied because I'm white. Yeah. I had the mentality of a Hawaiian born and raised here. That's the thing. Like, people ask me, okay, are you Hawaiian? I mean, yes, I am. I'm not, like, Hawaiian has two meanings. It's Hawaiian lineage, and then it's Hawaiian mentality and born and raised here. So because I'm born in the Hawaiian Islands and I have the mentality to respect the island, respect the culture, respect family, love people, show aloha, that makes me Hawaiian. Yeah. And so growing up, I dealt with that all the time. It was getting bullied by my cousins, getting bullied at school, all of that. And I just realized, okay, why am I trying to gain approval from all these people? I need to shun them away. Then the older I get, people start to be more receptive of who I am. They think I'm cool. They think, okay, then all that stops. You go, you get friends, they turn, you get this one bad apple off the tree, and it turns in, you know, just to be on the lookout. Like, right. My opinion, bro, always, you know, get a girlfriend and then breaks up with you, dates your friend. Happens all over. We just talked to the client today, and that happened to him too. Yeah. You know? And so, like, it's just, I think most of the time for me is, and to separate yourself, there's always going to be something. Like, there's always going to be something that you have to deal with. Not necessarily you let into your circle, but there's always going to be something outside of your bubble that's shooting stuff at your bubble, trying to mess with you. See that here. You get 301 and you get 304. Yeah. Right there. There's 301.
I have a different perspective, because I've experienced similar things. And now, I don't know if it's because I'm older or what, but I believe that everything is a reflection of, like, that outer poking the inner bubble, in my mind, doesn't exist anymore. And it's all me. And so if someone is attacking me, I have something to do with that. There's something, not that I pissed them off, because if they're attacking me, it's not because I did something wrong. Because maybe someone's coming to me for some reason. But in my mind, it's, where have my thoughts been at? Have I been thinking about people yelling for a long time? Or have I been what have I been thinking about for the past like few days? Have I been and then did this come as a result of me thinking about it? Because I really do think like the more thoughts we think, the more likely we're going to experience that thing. And so this goes back to like health things. Like I do believe me becoming healthier was a result of me thinking differently, not me attacking all the problems. Like sure, I did attack problems, but the basis of it was a statement of me changing and letting go of how the external world was failing miserably at helping, like the doctors and then all the testing and all this external stuff. So it's like, but I do agree with you in that we're always challenged, and so we're always
every single time.
You're never done. Like you're never done with life. Like once you figure shit out and you got a job and all this stuff, you're at a new level where then you're at a whole new set of conditions that are brand new, that are gonna cause you to have this internal turmoil. So you have new ideas and new things that you want from that new place. But I also believe the things that repeat in our lives aren't repeating necessarily in everyone else's lives. But if they're repeating in our lives, that there's a reason for that, and it's actually an internal reason.
But then again, you could be the best version of yourself, and you could always, like in my opinion, there's certain things like where I have done nothing wrong.
Right.
And it's not even me. You know what I mean? But that's just like you said, it's always, I think in life, there's so many trial by fire, and we seek to, am I shaking this thing too much?
I don't think it's picking up.
I wonder if it's picking up. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do that. That's weird. But like, there's so many, like, you seek to build yourself up. You seek to make yourself stronger. But this is where you lose a lot of people in this process, where they settle because they're so tired of fighting to gain that maturity.
Right.
You got to put yourself through the fire. You're going to get burned a little, but then at the end, you're going to be made stronger. That's why it's good to have friends, like that one saying, iron sharpens iron. Like, it's good to have people around you that sharpen each other. You play off of each other and you grow each other.
That's Proverbs 27:17.
Yes, it's in Proverbs.
And what is the...
As iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another.
Right. So, and I agree with that, because I think it's through the hard times that you learn. But I think if you don't learn, you're going to keep getting the hard times. Like, you're going to keep getting the same hard times. And if you don't learn... And it's not that I don't think we have to learn. I don't think we're put here on earth to learn lessons because we're problems and we're sinners and we're supposed to learn stuff.
No,
that's very Roman Catholic. I don't believe in that. I believe that we attract lessons because internally we want to understand why things are the way things are, and we want to learn that lesson. Why do things work out the way they work out? So, well, I think there's something can happen in your life, and you could say, well, I did nothing, and this goes to being 100% responsible, that Dr. Hugh Len thing, but like something negative can happen, because we've all had negative things happen in our lives. Like I could go back to my life in childhood, health conditions, having Lyme's disease, having these things, digestive issues, and be like, that was the outside world failing and affecting me. But as I've healed, as I've gotten older, my mindset is now, I attracted those experiences to understand this world and
That's
how
a
things
really
work.
cool mindset. I like that mindset.
But it's the only mindset I could possibly live with, because otherwise I just believe the outside world is going to come get me anytime.
Yeah.
But I don't believe that. I believe it's totally... I believe you can attract something not so fun, and it could logically, it's like, I did nothing logically to piss that guy off. But I believe if your thoughts are in a certain way, you're going to attract people thinking the same thoughts. And so if you're angry all the time, and most of us don't even realize where we're feeling, especially men. Like, if we're angry all the time, we're going to bump in randomly to angry people. I truly believe that.
Well, so I feel like what I understand what you guys have said is pretty cool because this reciprocation of connections and kind of going out there. And you said though, always be on guard and like forever, kind of always going, right? So, and then you were talking about, it's not necessarily the environment, right? You kind of jumble that and put it in a fucking 8-ball and say, what is that, So with the companionship, I've said this before, but it's like this selfishness is self-interest, and self-interest is self-growth. And I truly believe self-growth is done in many different ways. One of the monumental ways it's done is with other people. And companionship and connections are very important to me. And I think it's very important for people to remember my belief that you can only go so far without any type of social interaction, whether that be with the dog or the bears or the plants and the trees out in the wilderness or with the weather, fucking with the smoke. I don't know what fucking savages do, but it's something that must be done in those connections. Like you will forever somewhat be challenged because we have to do it with other people. And if the reflections, like if you're getting these reflections, you're like, fuck dude, these reflections these connections and reflections and deflections, if this is happening,
dude, is this spoken word?
Yeah. Dude, he was listening to rap with me yesterday, so that's probably why.
Reflections, perspections, directions, and
reflections, perspective, direction, reflection.
Big black erections, bitch. if you're having these reflections and you're not necessarily super okay with that, there are the people that you cruise with, that you roll with. And I believe that their reflections and stuff, you're a part of that because it's almost this kind of like, where, was it two or more are gathered than I am? Yeah. And so it's like now it's this kind of group reflection. There's personal kind of interactions and connections. Yeah. But I think companionship is one of the ways that you will kind of trudge through the trenches to get through those like negative reflections. But it was like all that shit you guys were saying, I was like, oh, that's really fucking cool. And
it's good too because like the reason
the
reason I know Tim is because I went through one of the hardest moments in my life, like on par with the fire.
Yeah.
And I never knew about the Kava Bar. I had a friend that decided to bring me to the Kava Bar. I went to the Kava Bar in this mentality where I was just so broken and so hurt and in so much pain and angry and I met these guys.
Dude, and they smiled too. I remember the first 3 times that you like, Brendan was like, oh dude, and I remember I was like kind of sitting down or something, you're like, oh, you were just like kind of like, you had a good like fucking carrot and good strut, and he was like, oh, what's going on, man? What? Jacob. I was like, oh, what's up? I remember you always had your hair tied back, you were always off work, you always had that 808 hat on.
Yeah.
And you had some other.
But the thing is like you see me with that stride, I was the worst mentally I've ever been in my life. And I only started getting good when I met Tim, when I met Losa, when I met Braden, Pate, Tahiti, Sean, Liza, Jonathan, his girl, all of them. And it was like the thing is that when you find people, and I realize when you find people that have gone through the same thing as you, it's the best to heal. But the step you need to take in order to heal is to take a step out and be willing to meet these people. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
Because willing to keep
and willing to maybe let go of
100%
relationships.
So maybe kind of disbarred some connections and renew some.
Yeah, and I agree with that because you were kind of alluding to like this idea that like as we grow, maybe we always are gonna have to let go of old relationships and accept new ones. Like that's an eternal process, and I think I agree with that. And I think those good relationships, like when you were at your lowest and you were giving up, and then you meet Tim and you meet all these guys, they are also a reflection of you. That is a reflection to the universe is saying this is who you are. Like these are the people you should hang because it feels good. That's how you know that's who you are. That's what really the truth is. And then
like you look at Kava Bar, most of these people have been in such deep dark pits.
Yeah.
Most of them have been alcoholic.
Yeah.
I was alcoholic too.
Yeah.
You know, we chose a different thing. Like, okay, we're doing the kava bar. We're having fun. We're talking with each other, hyping each other up, playing games. Like, the reason me and this guy got connected is because he started playing Catan.
Yeah. Chess.
Hell yeah.
And chess. Catan and chess. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Matt Marlin, what's up? Let's play some Catan, bitch.
Shout out to Matt Marland.
Shout out Catan.
Yeah.
And so, like, that
Shout
was
out
really
to
cool.
Austin.
And then when I got
play
through
Catan.
that mindset and I was there with the right people, when something terrible happened in my life, it didn't affect me because I had those strong people with me.
Yeah.
Like when the car got stolen, I was like pissed off for one night, and then after that we were just making jokes about it.
Yeah.
Like I was mad, dude. I was fuming. But then because I had strong connections with these people, it created this atmosphere inside of me that was like, I don't care. I have what I need right now.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
Which is wild, man.
The
And you know who
crew,
you are.
So solid. Yeah.
Because when you like reflections also tell you a lot about who you are, like the people in your life. And there's a really great book called A Course in Miracles, which is all about your relationships and how your relationships are like, you know, Hong Kong tailored suits to show you who you are.
Oh, wow.
Especially the ones that are, especially like the romantic relationships that try you and that make you question and make you fight and you're like arguing and all that. That's a Hong Kong tailored suit, perfectly fit so you can understand who you really are.
That's really good.
That's
I like
Course in
that.
Miracles. There's a really good. It's like it's like a modern day Bible-ish type of a book that was written in like the 50s, I think. But it's a big book, and it's got like it reads like the Bible. Like it's really like the language. Like it's so complicated, it hacks your brain, so you can't like underthink it. You like it's a really good book if you're an overthinker.
Yeah, it's a
if you're
big
like
book.
a professor. If you're really smart, you've got a PhD, and you're trying to get into spirituality, and you're like, it's too simple. I can't. It's not. Read A Course in Miracles. That shit's so complicated it will break your brain open. Like it's the weirdest shit. But that's the basics of it. It's your life is constantly is responding to you in real time, and I'm a fan of that idea.
Have you... I appreciate you mentioning that. What was the author of that one?
A Course in Miracles is by two people. Let me just look it up.
The author... Okay, while you're looking at that, here, I want to plug another book. This one is by Thomas Merton, and he was a Trappist monk. And it's called A New Man, that book. Because he was a philosopher as well. Philosophizer. But that book, I read it when I was high as fuck. Dude, and I remember that it was just coming to me, dude. The words were just fucking...
Coming in you.
Yeah, coming in me, coming on me.
Dude, all over.
And, dude, the money shot was when I got to the end, and I was like... Oh my gosh, I'm so much smarter. But Thomas Merton is good stuff. So, do you have the authors?
The author, Helen Schumann. The underlying premise is that the greatest miracle is the act of simply gaining a full awareness of love's presence in a person's life. And I think this is what I mean by like this. Life is responding to you in real time. And then Schumann said the book had been what does it say? Just kind of says she channeled it. Read the words. I've never met Helen, so I can't speak for her. But it's a really famous book, and at least in the people who are looking into philosophy, spirituality, that kind of stuff.
So with the reflections you're talking about, the first thing I wanted to mention was it reminds me bits and pieces of that movie Inception, when they're walking around and it's like all the bad guys are they're these reflections or something, these aberrations of themselves, and that's the like they're their own like worst enemy in that sense. But have you guys ever thought, since we're on this kind of this roller coaster in this world right now, that's one of the big things with the reflections you have is, so first of all, you're created in his image, right? So you're looking like God looks in a mirror and, oh, there those boys at. That's me. And they're me and I'm them. We're a part of that, right? But that is the whole idea.
Dude, I love that.
I believe
in my head that you just created, dude. Oh, little boy, man, dude, you look good. I'll make one dams.
Just fucking.
So you're implying God is white?
Yeah. No. No. I must retract that. Redact that.
Retract,
that.
recycle, reuse,
Retract, redact.
Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Connect, attack.
Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Big Sparky?
So, sorry, what were you saying?
No, I believe that's why modern Christianity is so popular. Because there is the Old Testament, the Torah, right? Then you have the New Covenant. And in the New Covenant, the idea is Christ came, he died, he rose again. And so before, to get a penance and to cleanse yourself of your wrongdoings, you would go and sacrifice an animal, right? Their blood atonement. Or on a certain day, the priest would go and you could go in as a regular person only so far. Then there was like the holiest of holies and only like the highest priest could go in. But all that was taken away after Christ did his work, right? The new covenant. And the idea is a personal relationship. So when it wasn't something I originally thought when I brought up companionship, but in this idea of you must go get through the world, I believe, with other people. It's how we help navigate through this world. Like that call to adventure.
No, yeah.
It's like okay, it was Frodo, but Samwise Gamgee was with him. You know what I mean? Harry Potter, he had two friends with him. He had these there is like Hercules, but Hercules always had like, I mean, it's just there's other people involved, and this idea is your companionship with the divine. Like there's an open like runway, open lines,
real time,
and you can access that.
Yeah.
And that's why, that's another part of companionship. And every time people are like, I'm just going to do it on my own. Like, I make my own money. I pay for my own shit. You know what I mean? I'm African and American. I'm from the barrio. I'm Mexican. I do all my shit. I get my fucking nail. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. Yeah, like, we're all our own people. And we need to be individuals. But you got to do this with other people. And that's why I think so many times it's like the dictator falls, right? Because he pushes everyone away.
Right.
No companionship is like, fuck everyone else. You know what I mean? Yeah. All my favorite people are bad dictators. I love those people.
Yeah.
And they fall. You know what I mean? But
you have that connection with companionship with your inner being, your soul, God, divinity.
It just kind of hit because I didn't think about that when I was talking, like bringing up what I wanted to talk about, but I think that's probably why, with Christianity it's so huge, and why I think Islam is either the most popular or the second most popular religious kind of outlet there is, and there's reason for that. We could get into that on another podcast, but the discipline and the kind of sacrifice. But one thing I don't believe that it shares with Christianity is the kind of free flowing area. It has a different kind of connection in divine, right? Because there's a little bit more servitude in Islam, from what I understand. But if we're gonna ever talk about that, which would be cool, we definitely want to read some more books on it. But yeah, I just thought about that, like that relationship with Christ. Like that's like, oh, wow, you need that companion, bro. He's got fucking angels to help.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. He's got fucking.
Come on.
That connection is interesting because like, I think there's that companionship, that outer world. You people, me, like we are reflecting each other in many ways, and this is a real time representation of what's going on inside of you, and that is a good confirmation for you. But when you go like this, that isn't real time. That's a replay of something that was recorded. Mm-hmm. And so it's not accurate. And so and oftentimes like when I'm on this turns my thoughts in a direction I'm not in control of, usually negative. And then I go walk out in the world and I start running into people that are reflecting that. And it's a very interesting thing. It's I think what pure love is, and God, whatever God or the universe's love, is that there's fairness in that what you think about, like the way you're thinking, you're gonna reflect it, and that is it's just fair. Like everyone's gonna, if you starting today start thinking about disease for the next 30 days, you're gonna die.
Dude,
You're gonna get some crazy ass disease. There's no question. Everyone knows that. That's why you
COVID
don't
was
do
so
it.
was so crazy because everybody was so
focused on it.
scared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why exactly. Then that's why like the people who were just like fuck this did fine. It's like so, and not to say like we didn't wear masks. So
I didn't wear a mask and I never caught COVID and I tested. You know why?
So this whole
I didn't do
this whole thing. I think that's what love is. That you have the freedom. Why this whole idea of why would God create a world where you could have war and where man can have freedom of will? Well, that's love. It's that you can think what you want and you could focus on whatever you want and you could focus on the darkness for as long as you want and dive deep into the violence as deep as you want, and then you could turn around when you're ready, or you can die and try again. But like, you have that freedom. We have that freedom. We have the choice. This goes back to the choice. This is the victor's mentality, thinking and knowing that you have choice. But this is a choice real time, and it doesn't have to be like life or death. It could be like very minor things where we have these conversations with people and we're seeing the real time reflection of it. This is real, right here, right now. You're a physical being and made of matter, and so am I, and we're talking to each other. And I also have this connection with my soul or my spirit or God or this energy that is out and everywhere and within, you know, and that relationship too. Those are real time. And how do I know that connection with God or the connection with myself? Probably by my emotions, probably by the way I feel about things when I say them. If I say that, you know, that this race is better than that race, I'm going to feel that in my gut. It's not going to feel good. That's why racism is always said with hatred and anger, because hatred and anger they don't work with your soul. They don't fit. Everyone's soul is like going to say the same thing, that we are all good people. We are all loved, probably misunderstood, you know. So you can't think thoughts of pure racism if you're happy. I don't believe that. Except you.
Well, that's the relationships that I have. The reason that, because I'm, as what people will call me, and that know me and that listen. And if you're my friend and you're not listening, fucking listen to this podcast. I'll be called attention whore, social butterfly. These are things, right? But I thrive in these social. In that social ecosystem, because companionship is very important to me. And in some instances, I've actually gotten better, but my wife is always like, well, I'm not worried. If we go somewhere, you'll meet somebody, you know? And it's crazy how me meeting people and having those connections are so important to me, because even the ones that, they're not surface area, but they're in more of that acquaintance. Strangers. In those connections is just, it's crazy what it's like the next day, like you talk about, it's like, oh man, this suddenly helped.
Right.
I act like it's like so profound, and I know like two things happened the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is badass. And then I forgot, but
well, no, it's almost like you with strangers, you see the reflection more obviously than with someone you've been living with.
It just helps. It helps so much.
Yeah.
These connections, but the companionship with my wife, like that helps me in a lot of ways. And there's needs that are nurtured and growing there, and we always write letters, we'll write letters, but I'll write letters a lot more so. And one of the things when we first started dating was like, you know, it's me and you against the world, right? And that's a cliche, classic faggot ass shit to say, but that's how it feels, because that's your, like, I don't believe also that that's my best friend in the whole world and we're gonna have an ever after. It's like, God, fucking make me sick, dude. That's stupid. Because I don't have
Robin Hood, rumble do the forest, rumble do the down,
there's
not
only one
away. What does that song go?
One best friend I have.
Drinking out the water hole, didn't worry about the toxins. Bullfrog. Sorry. So you say,
my best
my
friend,
wife against the whole world.
Yeah, my best friend is not fucking my wife. My best friend is not
your dog.
My
it's
buddies.
Neville. That's why you should get a dog.
Neville Neville is not my. Get your fucking goddamn African gnat out of here.
Dude, wow,
Dude, that is really, a big gnat.
You're really reflecting something that's within.
Yeah, I don't like Americans. African. No, my best friend is not one person. It is the closest people that create my environment. And that may change and it may go up and down and back and forth. But it's almost to the point where it can be something that is weak or like a weakness. It's something that I've worked on because I can be very social and be very out there, and I need to attend to certain things and make sure these reflections are positive as they can be, at least move that way.
Yeah.
But I thrive in that, and I believe that's how human beings need to thrive. And I think people that have a lot of issues, one, they're not exhausting new connections. They're not caring about. That's that whole thing is like once you kind of you're done with somebody, it's like you never know what you had till you lost it, right? Yeah. So it's really crazy when I do stuff like this, and we're kind of talking story, and I'll be like, "Fuck, man." I miss these people I love, like my wife or something, I mean, sometimes, but it's how we go about, and I believe it has to work that way, almost like legalistically, like literally. Right. But I'm such a advocate of those companionships, and I mean that's why I'm sitting here talking with you. We met so long ago, and then we just kind of kept on see what you see. Dude,
right. We kept bumping into each other.
You see the cooler? You see that kind of igloo cooler I have at the house? The white one?
Yeah.
You know where that fucking came from? This motherfucker. We were living in Kalalui, and I hadn't seen Sean. He was done at the zip line. hadn't seen him, whatever. And he goes, I was on the bus and riding in the back with Rosa Parks, and
Oh my God, I was on the bus when I did that.
And he went to Ace Hardware, and he thought of somebody, and he was like, "What's your address?" And then he fucking came by and dropped that cooler off.
Yeah,
that's gangsta.
Yeah,
right.
So how was Rosa Parks that day?
That was in great, by the way. But that was in a time I was purposefully trying to give more gifts, and I think if anyone's looking to do something life changing, just try and give more gifts for like a week. Just try. You will see things happen. Like,
that's true.
You will be, and it will benefit you. Like that's something I did, and
it meant a lot.
It's still you still remember it, and it's like and it was fun for me. I was like, oh, you get to spend a little money on. Oh, I thought that glass.
I was so ready for that glass to break.
Fuck you guys.
We're trying to say you're really fucking just
for all the Spotify listeners.
Huge.
Tim just stepped on this little table, this little coffee table in front of our couch,
made of like wicker,
and then glass on top.
Glass top,
and the glass is very thin, and we thought it was gonna break.
I thought it was gonna break like a car window.
Yeah.
Like you see those videos of the people walking on Lamborghini like windshields and just.
Yeah.
Wait, what were we saying?
I was closing my eyes. I was really Asian. I was like,
What were we talking about, Tim?
The connections, and it's just
those so the cooler. Yeah.
Yes. Did you crop dust when you did that?
No, I didn't.
I swear to God, somebody did.
No, you did.
No, I didn't. Oh, okay.
You're over there, and it's being blown over.
Oh, that's why.
No, my dick doesn't smell that bad. My dick has got.
Did you queef?
Was that you?
No, I wasn't. I always ask. Do you guys hear that?
I fucking let one fly. I never let one rip.
What is that smell?
I don't know.
Anyway,
but yeah, so you get gifts, and you start to when you give gifts too, you start to believe that you are a gift giver, and that means you are more abundant than you were before. And then you start to think those thoughts, and then you start to reflect that, and then that starts to reflect back at you. So it's a really, really powerful thing. I should do it more. I probably will do it more after this conversation. But fuck yeah. So you were saying, Tim, you met me like in the cooler. Where were you going? I don't know where you're going.
Well, that's the whole thing with these connections that you can garner and that you can kind of cultivate.
Yeah.
You did that, and it wasn't that I never thought about you. I was like, oh yeah, oh what's Sean doing? Or oh hey, And then it's like, oh shit, like that reflection, like that was a reflection of you, that was a reflection of me, and it was like, oh
100%.
wow, this is really cool.
Yeah.
And those are the things that my wife appreciates about me, and absolutely fucking gets run off to the roof. It's this infuriating thing is these connections that I get, and these people I meet, these friends, and then companions, acquaintances, and then become friends, no longer strangers. It has helped me navigate through this world. And I'm going to tell you what, just like you said, the world makes sense that way. How you see it. Like, I'm going to think more thoughts and this is going to happen. It makes sense that it's like, we need a place. Right? We need a place to live. And it's like, oh, everyone's like, dude, I've had so many people that go, oh man, dude, look, Facebook right here. I was like, oh, okay, because I didn't check Facebook.
Right.
Like, I know I'm not big on the social media and technology. I'm not that incompetent. Like, there are outlets to do it, but I ask people. It's the first thing I do.
Yeah.
And it begins to reflect. In this one, the place we live now, the landlord said, he goes, I want to thank you for the energy you put into this and to sending a couple short text messages, a couple phone calls, checking in, not too rushed, maybe like the week. He goes, you filled the application out. We had a really nice conversation. He goes, and then you wrote a letter, a handwritten letter. And he goes, you just kind of showed me. And he goes, I really appreciate that. And it's like, bam, we have a place.
Yeah. And
the
reflected
companionship and the friendships and relationships that we have with the Kava Bar, like the owners, and then with the people that go there is pretty fucking insane because it has helped different things. I haven't, taxed anyone yet to like, hey, give me a fucking job at the Cobb Bar because that's what I want. But they're going through a thing and they're trying to take care of those employees after all this disaster. But I honestly believe if I need something, I was like, because after the big thing with the initial fire happened, I was starting connecting with some other people I hadn't connected with during the whole disaster, the immediate days and months afterwards, or weeks. And then finally it's like, you're doing good? Hey, just so you know, I've been working with a guy, and we are non-affiliated, grassroots. I know you have a lot of people, especially if they're born and raised here. They got plenty of support, right? Family, like cousin guys, walking Anthony over there. But I was like, if you need anything, we'll deliver to you. And we can get anything you need. And I remember the first time I sent that message, I was like, you can get anything you need? I was like, no, fuck, we can. Whatever they need, we will get. And then, like...
And it was very much possible.
Yeah. Like
I had doctors on my side. I had teams, special teams. I had people that could write prescription out. They said, whenever you need a prescription, let me know. I was like, I need Xannies. No, I didn't say that.
I need some fucking insulin and some Viagra, bitch.
Give me some Percocet.
But that's relationships,
we need
man.
Xannies and Viagra. Stat.
You gotta plant. You gotta fucking feed those relationships, and you get fulfilled, like personally.
Yeah.
But you're fulfilling those other people, especially when they're positive and good connections and reflections.
Yes.
And then that's the only way I know to navigate, and that's what
I feel like that's your thing.
Yeah,
you're
that's
a
what I
relationships.
want people to do. If they don't do it, fuck.
Like when I think of Tim, I think of like he's a relationships man. He's always
100%.
Yeah, just take a shot. Yeah.
I'm just gonna put a little in this cup.
Diluting it is better for your teeth, but it makes you a pussy. No, I'm just kidding.
Keep going.
So yeah, I don't know. That was beautiful. That was fucking round of applause. I got nothing. But I think we should end it on that.
Yeah, Raj.
We're ending it on that?